Hello, my name is Gabriel from GabakUSA. In this video we're going to talk about files, structures and path. So if this is the continuation of the classes that I've been teaching about how to become a computer technician. So if this is the first class, I recommend you to go to the prior videos, so that way you can start watching since the beginning, from the beginning. So being said that, we are going to start talking about files and folders, windows, programs and documents. So that way when you see the computer for the first time, I don't know if this is your first time or not, this is going to be very valuable, because you're going to know where the files are going to be saved in order to retrieve them later, or if you have to fix a computer or whatever. So that it will help you to understand how everything works much better. So now we are going to talk a little bit here on the whiteboard, and then we are going to start seeing the computer. So we are going to back and forth. So we are going to talk about theory, and then practice, and then that way everything will be more dynamic and it will be more entertaining. So this is what we're going to see. So the first thing that we're going to talk is files and folders and how it is stored on the computer. So usually if you have Windows, we're going to talk about the major operating system. We are going to talk about Windows, OSX, and we're going to talk about Linux. So that way you're going to understand no matter what operating system the customer put on front of you. So that way you're going to understand much better. So when you have a drive where you store all the information, you're going to see, if you have Windows, they assign a name. In this case, it was going to be C. Usually it's like that. And you're going to have maybe C, D, E, E, F, H, I, and many more. And on Linux or OS X in Mac world, you're going to see that they have names. They don't have a C drive. So here I'm going to show you now on the computer so you can see what I'm saying. So they have a name, a letter assigned. It will be C in this case, and on Mac it will be HD or Macintosh HD or something like that. On Linux they can write a name. So they call it like for volumes. So different. I'm going to talk about volumes, drives, partition, and everything else later. But I want to keep it simple, so that way you're going to understand it better. So you're going to have a big box where you put all the files. That will be called drive. And once you want to start organizing everything, you're going to start creating folders. So folder will be like the separation between everything. So that way you can have everything more organized when you start seeing everything. So most of the operating system on the world, you're going to see like that. Root, it will be the whole box, so where you have all the things. The folder, it will be the divisions inside, and the subfolder, it will be like the subdivision from the division. So it will be a folder is a subfolder is something that is inside of folder, and folder is resides on root. So that is what I want you to understand. Here I have a few examples that I'm going to start teaching you, but first of all I'm going to show you here right now on my Windows computer the C and the OS X and Linux, so that way you can see what I'm saying and it will be easier for you. So let's change the screen, so that way we're going to see everything on Linux. As you can see here, this is my drive, so it's computer, and here you see all my folders. So that way is how everything is organized. So now I'm going to show you on Windows. As you can see, we see my computer, but what you're going to see is C drive. So you can see this is the drive. It will tell you how much is used or not. So if we right click on it, we go to properties, and then it says use space 13 gigs or 12 point something. Free 20 gigs about that. So that is how you're going to see it. Also, I'm going to show you in the other windows, so that way you can see the other versions. Here I have Windows XP, so it's the same thing. You see C drive, you're going to see it here as well, C drive, and that is how it is presented. And now I'm going to show you on my Mac, so you can see everything. Here is my Mac. So as you can see, Macintosh HD. Here you can change the name. You can call it Little Home or whatever you want to call it. So that is one of the things. So if you want to rename it, you click here on rename, and then you can add something like OSX, and it should work. As you can see, it changed it, but it doesn't fit here. It changes just here, you see. So we're going to see if we can rename it and delete it all. Maybe it will fit better. There you go. And okay, it changes just here. Here is the same name. It has the last name, but it doesn't matter. Maybe it's a little bug in the system. So that is the thing. Here you can see the drives. The folders. As you can see, applications, library, system, user. So if you want to see how many users you have, here you have one user is called A123, another Gabe, another guest, another thing. So that is basically how you're going to see everything. So here you have a little dash. I'm going to show you here on Windows 10. Usually you don't see that dash. I'm going to talk about that. You see these little errors that you see right now. I'm going to try to show you Windows 7. So let's see if we can see it right now. I'm going to move it here. Yeah, here it is. You're going to see Windows C. You're going to see C. So the way this is the C, that is what you're going to see. In this case, I have it in Spanish, but it's because I have a good reason why I have it in Spanish, because I want to show you later on how Spanish, it might be a little bit different of what you're thinking. So here I have Windows 7 in English, and we're going to open the Explorer. Here we have C as well. So that is basically everything that you're going to see. So here we have the C drive. Here we have the other names that the operating system may use, or you can change it if you want to. So now we have the root. So you know how is the root. Root is the main box and where you're going to put everything. The folders are going to be where you can store things, or maybe on Windows and other operating systems as well, they have just default folders, so you know where the things are. Like I'm going to talk users, Gabe, desktop, where you can find the programs. Usually here, where you see C, colon, slash, backslash, users, Gabe, and desktop. That is where you're going to find your program. Not your programs, just your documents, pictures, and everything. Here is just the desktop, but if you change it, if you go to Gabe, I'm going to show you later, you're going to see the rest. Here is where you see programs. You have program files. Usually if you have Windows 64-bit, usually most of computers today, they have 64-bit, you're going to see they have program files, and then they have program files x86. So that way you're going to have the 32-bit here, 64-bit here, and we are going to keep talking and progressing in this subject. So the thing is, in order to handle the folders, subfolders, you're going to need a program that will manage all those files. So in this case, Windows use Explorer or File Explorer. I'm going to show you the difference. Windows 8 and later, they have they change the name, just the name. Usually the program is the same. So it's called File Explorer. And if you have Windows 7 and below, usually, or under the older versions, you're going to see as Windows Explorer. So I'm going to show you a little bit so you can see those things that I said. So if we right click here, we are going to see is called Windows Explorer. So Windows Explorer is the software that allows you to copy, modify, and do all the kind of things that you may want. So if you want something new, you may right click and then folder, and then we're going to create a folder called test folder and Gabak. There you go. You see? So we create the folder, and inside of this folder we can copy whatever we want. So if we want to copy this icon, it's a file, we can do that. If we want to create maybe a text, we're going to create a text, then test text. There you go. So we can double click, type whatever, and then we can close it, and it will save it. So it will save everything. So that is basically so. And then we have, like I said before, we have root, we have folder, and we have subfolder. So inside of one folder, we can create another one. So it's the same thing with all the operating system. I mean, I'm showing you right now on Windows because it's what most people have. Otherwise, if you have a Mac, you can do the same thing. I'll show you a little bit on Linux as well. So I'm going to change. So if we want to create another folder, it will be right click, or you can use, if you want, one of these buttons here, and then sub folder metal. There you go, or vacations or whatever, and you can create another subfolder. So that is how you're going to see it. So I'm going to show you right away, and then that way we have C, like you can see here. I'm going C, test folder, Gabak, and subfolder. So we have folder, and if we want to create another one, it will be test slash dash 123. We can create another one, and you will see like that. So that is basically it. You're going to create one inside of the other one. So folder, subfolder. So what we just create is subfolders. Folders is the first one that we just create in the beginning. So that way you're going to organize everything. If you have to find something, that is how it works. I'm going to show you a little bit on Linux so you can see how everything is, but it will be the same. So it doesn't change much. So if we go here and we want to create a folder, usually on the root, Linux, they will not allow you. It's because permissions and everything. But if you want to do that, you can go to folder. For instance, here is where you're going to see everything. I mean, where you're going to see all the users and everything. So here is Gabak, and here we have the folders. And here, if I want to create one that's called 123 test, enter. And you will see the same thing. If I want to create another one, right click, and then subfolder 123. There you go. You have it here. And if I want to create another one, it could be a third house. I don't know, whatever name you want. That way you can see on the top everything. So you have home, 123 test, subfolder, 3 house. So if we want to see everything from the terminal, we can see that. We are going to show you. So we are going to talk about terminal later on, but it's something that is good that you can know. So here we are going to enter in 123, and then subfolder, and then 3 house. There you go. So as you can see, we have all that we need to see. So that is all the folders and subfolders that we create. And if we have here on Mac, it will be the same thing. So if we want to create, it will allow us to create it, but on the root, but it will ask us for the password. So I type the password, and then folder. There you go. If I want to create another one, 1, 2, 3, and then here maybe another one is called house, and then if I want another one, it's called car. There you go. So you have all those folders. So if you want to organize everything any other way, you can do it as well. So the main thing, I mean, what I advise, if you can follow at least the rules, users, and inside of your user, you copy everything. So that way, if you have to restore the system, I don't know, your computer is not booting anymore, or because you're a computer technician, you go to the customer and say, the customer say, the computer is not booting anymore. Please save my data, and then they will. You know where they save everything. If they start creating folders everywhere, it will be a little bit more messy to start asking to the customer, hey, where do you have your things? Maybe he doesn't know, or maybe he doesn't remember. He used shortcuts and everything else, but that it will be another story. So that is the main thing. Like I showed you before, here we have Windows Explorer for older versions. The new one will be File Explorer. And for Mac, it will be Finder. So Finder is the name of the program. So if you want to see here where it says About, Finder. So this is the software that how they call it. So that way you can manage all the files. And if you have Linux, they usually have their own name is called Files by itself. So if we go About, as you can see, it's called Files. That is the name, and this is the version that I have right now. But that is the basic. It doesn't matter what do you have. Some way you're going to start dealing with the files. If you're going to use the interface, the graphical interface is one thing. It's easier. Or if you have to start typing like I did before, that is another thing. If you can use a computer next to this class, that will be better, because that way you can start practicing right away. And what I recommend you is to use each operating system at least 3 weeks in a row, so every day. So that way you're going to get used to it. You are going to see, or you're going to know all the ways around. So when you go to a customer, you are going to be more comfortable because you are used to using it. Otherwise, if you see this video just once and that's it, and you never practice, things are not going to turn well. So now I'm going to show you a thing. This is what I was teaching you. It will be the C. Let's say this is another way to graphic. So if you have C, you have this line, and then you have maybe here DS is Documents and Settings, W Windows. Here it could be Archivos de Programas. It means a file system in Spanish, and maybe temps, and Juegos is games. So I'm going to show you this because if you go to someone else home or company or whatever, and you start seeing, oh, this company happened to me when I was living in Argentina, that I went to a Korean company, and I don't know Korean. I know Spanish, I know English, and that's it. So if you start seeing something different, it will be good if you can know those way around them. I'm going to show you the names that you're going to find. So here I have another example: Windows, program files, and then users, game, and desktop. So usually, like I said before, I'm going to show you right away on Windows, on Mac, and Linux. Usually, when you have program files, it's 64-bit, and if you see the other one that says x86, is in Windows is 32-bit. So I'm going to show you so you can see what I'm saying. That way, you will understand much better. So we're going to try to open the other one. So here we have the version, the English version. So if you go here, you see you have program files, and those folders is where you're going to find the programs that are installed already. So if you're thinking, well, I don't care much about that. Well, the thing is, usually if you have to reinstall everything from scratch, you're not going to make any backup. Usually you don't have to make any backup from that folder. But in case if there is a special software and they save something over there, you know where to find the things. Also, maybe if you have 2 computers and both computers are exactly the same, and maybe one computer got infected by a virus or something like that, and they have exactly the same software and everything else. Like I said, one computer got corrupted, one or few files, and you have to fix that. one way will be take the healthy computer, copy those files, maybe from this folder that I said before, and you can copy it to the other one, and maybe you fix it that way. It's one option. So that is what I'm saying. So I'm going to show you on Linux, on Mac, a little bit, usually how they save the things. So here, usually on applications, you're going to see on Mac all the applications that you have been installing for the couple of years, I guess. I don't know, but that is instead of program files, that is where you're going to find most of the things. They may change it on the over time. Also, you have a library here. Usually, if you want to get rid of one program, you just delete it from here, and that's it. And usually on Linux, yep, here we are on Linux. Usually the program, they may change it. You have to search, if I'm not mistaken. Usually I don't deal much with Linux, but if you go here where it says USR, usually if you go to Bing, you're going to find, or you should be able to find the software that is installed already. I think it was Bing or S-Bing or something like that. Yeah, here on S-Bing, you're going to see all the things. I mean, if you have to mess with it, you have to maybe install or uninstall something, use the Ubuntu Software Center or whatever how they call it today in 2016, and do those things. So here I'm going to upgrade the computer meanwhile. So now we're going to talk about documents. So usually on Windows, I'm going to show you a little pearl. It will be Windows 95. They changed the things were way different from that age to now, but back in the age things were different. But now we have Windows 7, Windows 8, and 10. So they create users. I mean, you're going to find a folder called users, and inside of user you're going to find all the users that computer have, and with all the application, all the documents, pictures, movies, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, whatever. And on Mac, you're going to find exactly the same. And the only one that is different is Linux. So Linux, they call it home instead of users, and then slash the name of the user, slash whatever else, desktop and everything. So we're going to see that. So that way you're going to understand. Also, I'm going to show you the other things that I was saying in another language, so you can see everything that I was saying. So here, if we go, we're on Linux right now, Ubuntu. If we go home, and then you are going to see all the users. So if we go home, we're going to see all my documents. Usually here I don't have anything. I use it for testing. Here, if you have music, you're going to find your music and everything else. So if the customer say, hey, please can you save Jose folder? Yeah, surely. And then you just right click, copy, and then you paste it elsewhere. So that way, if you maybe plug a hard drive, external hard drive, that's it. So if you go to Jose, you're going to see all their documents and everything else. So that is how you solve that problem. So if we have Windows XP, instead of having users, like I said before, they have documents and settings. So that is one of the things, like I said here, documents and settings. They change the things, so that is very well. I mean, it's very good that you know. So even that is in Spanish, as you can see, it says Archivo de Programas, Documents and Settings, and Windows. Here you go to the user instead Jose, and you copy whatever Jose wants you to copy. And then maybe you copy here on the second hard drive, and that way the way you go, you know. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to delete whatever I have here so you can see. I'm going to show you, this will be a perfect sample. So if we go here to Jose, And then Jose said, well, the only thing I care is the favorites. Okay, o favoritos acá, here. Here is favoritos, so we go here, and then we can paste it, and that's it. If he says later on, oh, but I want my documents as well, okay, you can say, okay, don't worry, drag and drop, and I'll copy that. So that way, if you have to maybe delete everything, wipe and reload the windows, you can do it on C, knowing that the other hard drive is going to be intact. So it's just in case, if you want to be 100% sure, remove the hard drive. Once you copy everything, plug it in another computer, see the files, open them up, they are okay, great. Format the hard drive, reload everything, and you will be okay. Because maybe you're confused and you start formatting the wrong hard drive, and then instead of using C, you're using E or D or whatever, and then you lose all the data. So that will be my advice. So I'm going to show you something else here on the terminal. So if we leave here, we'll go dot, there you go, there. And if you see here, it says Documents and Settings, and here it says Archivos de Programas. So that is one thing that you have to keep in mind. This is in Spanish, so try to search for that file or folder instead when you're going to fix it. Here we have Windows, and we have Windows in English. So in English it will be the same thing. You go here, folder, users, and then we have just one user here. But if you're going to think, well, I want another user, just so we can practice, and you are going to see the changes and the folders and everything else. So we're going to manage another account. We're going to create one. We're going to write it Jose. Let's leave it administrator, or if you want, let's call it John. Hey John, there you go, or whatever name you want to call it, or Smith. There you go, Smith. There you go. Create the account, and there you go. You have it, and then you say, "Oh, wonderful! I have another account. I'm going to show you." And you go here and you say, "Well, where is the account? I don't see it. Why it's not there?" Well, that account, you're going to see it when you log in for the first time. So if you change, now you will see Smith, and that way you're going to see that it's going to take a little longer, a little while, and it will create everything, and that way you're going to have everything. So I'm saying this because if you have to start reloading the file for many customers and things like that, take this in consideration, because it will take you more than the time that you were expecting. So now we are going to show you, meanwhile this is loading, I'm going to try to show you on Windows. So Windows 10 is the same thing. You have users, here you have test, and you have another user is called public, like you see. There you go, you copy whatever you need, and that's it. So now we're going back to the other one. So we have, we're going to open up Explorer. Here we're going where it says users. You see Smith now. So we're going to change. Now we're going to switch user. We're going back to the other one. It was dash. So this was the user. And as you can see, now we have the Smith and we have the folders. See, now it's asking us for permissions. And that way you are going to see everything. So downloads, whatever he has on his desktop and everything else. So now we're going to show you on Linux so you can see everything. Linux, like I said before, you have home, you don't have users. So here is all the root. And here you go to home, and then the folder that you want to enter, and you copy whatever you want. So that is how it works. One of the things that I wanted to show you was Windows 7 in Spanish. So because You can see there is no, I'm going to change camera. So remember, Windows XP is documents and settings. And on Windows 7 and beyond, and Windows 7 and later, you're going to see that they are using users and Windows 10 as well. So that is very important. So here you're going to see usuarios, and you are going to see archivos de programas and all the things. You're going to think, well, that is okay, sounds fine, but like I said before, here when you are on the real thing, on the terminal, you're going to see only the real thing. The real thing will be you have program files, you don't have archivo de programas, so that is very important, and you don't have usuarios, you have users. So when you start dealing with another languages, make sure that you have the right folders that you're going to use. And now we're going to jump on Mac. So you can see we have folders, we have users, and we have the different users, and we can copy everything that we want. So that is basically it. So that is the main thing. Another thing that I'm going to show you that I've been talking before, usually you're going to see maybe C and then the slash and then the name, the slash. Usually what they have done on the new versions of Windows is they see C or they see computer and then like greater, the sign greater, and then another name greater, but that is just one thing just for your eyes. It's just a visual thing. So I'm going to show you. This is what you're going to see. Here on Mac is the same thing. If we go here on Mac, we're going to type here. So this is how we see things. Instead of the backslash, here they use / in terminal. So that is one of the difference. I'm going to show you here. So you can see one is backslash, the other is / they use things differently. So basically almost that's it. So we are going to show you, Windows 95. Windows 95, here we have in this website. So if you want to visit, maybe I can leave the link later. We go here and then we go OK. And then we're going to wait until it loads. I'm going to make sure that you can hear the noise. We're going the sound. Full screen. You're going to see DOSBox. DOSBox is emulator usually for all versions. Here you have it, Windows 95 on the web. Okay, it doesn't sound that promising the sound, but okay, that's fine. So I'm going to mute it because it was so slow. It doesn't matter. So we're going to see if I can make it work. I think I'm going to close it because something is taking so many resources. Oh, there you go. Hide pointer, yeah. There you go. We have Windows 95. We have Internet Explorer, and we have Windows Explorer. Windows Explorer, it didn't change. It is the same thing. In case you didn't see it on Windows 10, let's say, where is Windows 10? I think this is Windows 10. Yep. If we right-click, it's called File Explorer. So that is the name. And here we have the other one. So if we see, I'm going to try to maximize. Let's see if I can, it will let me and it will work fast. There you go. Yep, it works fast. Okay, so if we create maybe a folder on the desktop, let's say we want to create one folder, it's called 11, come on, there you go, 11, enter. And you're thinking, well, great, we have 11. Where is the file? I mean, where is the folder? Where is the file? How do I save that? Here we don't have users, we don't have documents and settings, we don't have home, Linux. So we have everything on Windows. And if you start looking, you're thinking, well, where is it? I don't see it. We have few folders, so where are the rest? Well, the rest is here. So we have to do something different. We have to go View, Options, Display Full Path if you want to see everything, and we have to Show All Files. There you go. And then, yep, here we have desktop. So that way is how you have everything. Okay, I made a mistake. So that is very important. So you don't have to select everything. Okay, I'm going to close this. Okay, we'll have desktop here, and that way how you can save it. So if I create right click, then I can create another one. It's called 22. Or okay, I don't know why it's doing this. There you go. And we have 22 as well here. So that is how you have to start seeing everything. So I'm going to close that. And if at that time, if you didn't have, if you start saving everything on the desktop, the only way was creating your own my users. It will not be users. It will be like my docs, maybe my docs, and the way you go. So here I don't remember. There was very long time ago when I used to play with Windows 95. So that is the whole control panel. So you don't have much here. So, but okay, that is basically how you handle. You have to start getting used to it. If you have to see all those old files and everything, if you have maybe to fix an old computer, the customer say, well, I have Windows 95 and I have a special software that I cannot find in new computers. Okay, fix it that way, make a backup, and those things. So basically that's it. So that is why it's very important that you have to start learning all the changes in the future. Today is users and then all the users and everything else. And in the future, it may change, it may not change. I think it will remain the same. But just in case, you know everything, how to handle files and everything. So if you have to use DOS, you can start typing copy and everything else. We're going to see that surely in another time. Basically, practice. That is what I recommend you. And remember to subscribe to my channel. If you want to buy some other computer classes or something like that, you can go to my website. Also, if you have any question, you can go to the forum that is on GabakUSA.com. Remember, leave your comment down. And remember, subscribe, and see you next time. So I hope to see you in the next class about how to become a computer technician. See you next time. Bye.